Hey guys, so a month to go for the prelims. Let's see what's the best way to utilize these coming days. We need to get maximum profit from the following few weeks. So let's just begin. So I'll be focusing on three areas in this video, that is static subjects, current affairs, and the question papers. Question papers, when I say, it is your previous year question paper, UPSC, as well as few mock tests that you should be doing. Let us start with the static subjects. In general, you need to have some conceptual clarity on each subject, especially polity, geography, economy. When I tell conceptual clarity, it is like you need to know the definitions and the meanings. For polity, you might have come across few questions like what is liberty, right? These questions they ask in UPSC. What is equality? What is secularism? So you need to understand the concept to answer such questions. Clear? Get a list of important topics of each subject by doing question paper analysis. Please take up the previous year question papers at least from 2011. Take it from UPSC website, download it with the answer key and do a thorough analysis of all the questions. When I tell thorough analysis, you need to see the question. First, you need to divide all the 100 questions into subjects. Okay? So you will have polity, history, economy, geography, environment, science and tech. Right? Even the current affairs part, you can obviously divide it into these following subjects. Next, you need to see the question and analyze which part of the subject they are asking from. Okay? Say the question was, which was Gandhiji's first satyagraha in India? And they have given you Champaran Satyagraha, Kheda Satyagraha, Ahmedabad Satyagraha and Rowlatt Satyagraha. So when I tell analysis, what are they asking about? First of all, this question is history. In history, it is modern India. In modern India, it is after 1857, that too during the arrival of Gandhi. So you got the picture, right? That means after 1857, I need to give more weightage while studying or revising. Second, they are specifically asking about the satyagrahas conducted by Gandhiji. Even though we know the right answer, that it is Champaran Satyagraha, when I tell analysis, you need to go and read about the other three as well. That is about Ahmedabad, Rowlatt and all the other satyagrahas that is given in the option. We have got 4 satyagrahas, right? Champaran, Ahmedabad, Kheda and Rowlatt. Do go and revise all of it. That is what is question paper analysis, because maybe say in 2015 this question might have appeared. This year he might ask about Kheda Satyagraha. Understanding? So it will really give you lot of plus point if you do question paper analysis. It is a bit time consuming, but trust me, you're going to gain a lot from it. Clear? Don't miss that. Even from that itself, you're going to get a list of all the important topics which you need to study for the exam. Next, look for repeated topics in the previous year question papers. So when I tell repeated topics, for example, Buddhism, Jainism related questions keep occurring every year in the exam. So that means what? We need to study Buddhism, Jainism. We cannot go without studying that from ancient India. You might not read other topics of ancient India, but Buddhism, Jainism, you cannot neglect. Clear? So those are your repeated topics. Like your fundamental rights in polity. Even that keeps getting repeated now and then. You cannot go to the exam without revising fundamental rights. Clear? That's why revise. Very important. That is the only thing you're required to do in the coming 1 month. That is complete revision. Nothing else. Revise what you have already studied. Have you completed 60% of the syllabus? Revise that. Please do not go and study the new 40% which you have not studied. understanding how much ever you have completed in the last 1 year, 1.5 year, or in the last few months, please focus on revising the same and not wasting time in reading something new. Okay? Be wise and revise. Always remember that this 1 month is just for revision, not for anything new. So when it comes to subject wise, I'll just quickly tell you what are some focus points. We have polity. The Bible is Lakshmikant. Revise it again and again. Get clarity in the concepts, especially in chapters like preamble, fundamental rights, DPSP, parliament, right? So when it comes to president and governor, what are the major differences? Mostly their powers are similar, but where they are not same. Okay, when it comes to pardoning powers, president and governor have almost the same pardoning power, but only president gets to choose whether the person who is going for death, that is, who is getting hanged, will he be saved or no, right? Governor cannot do so. When it comes to Supreme Court and High Court, what is the similarities and differences? Always compare and study. In polity, it's easier when you compare and study. Clear? Like I said, the initial chapters of polity, all your acts and policies, few important acts are there, like your 1935 Government of India Act, 1833 Act, which was the peak of centralization. Okay? Then your 1919 Act, 1900 Act, 1909 Act, all these please go and revise them again and again. Okay? When I say study the acts and policies, it's not about going and beheading them blindly. You need to understand what is happening. Okay, if you see 1833 Act and if you see your 1861 Act or 1900 Act, you can see both are almost opposite to each other. In one you can see centralization happening, in another we can see decentralization taking place. Okay, UPSC is not looking for mugging up. They want you to understand the concept. So question yourself. Each point you read, question yourself, why is this taking place? That time only you can answer the questions that are asked in the actual examination. Okay, don't just start beheading or mugging up what is given. Clear? Even when I tell fundamental rights, don't go on reading the chapter blindly. Understand each and everything, why it is given. Okay? Why do you need freedom of speech? You even have a fundamental right which says you have right to sleep. How did that come? Understanding? Please read all the initial 6 to 7 chapters with utmost care. You need to understand the concepts, especially in these chapters. Some topics to memorize are there, such as your acts and policies, constitution borrowed, like from Ireland, what did we borrow? From Australia, what did we borrow? Okay. The salient features of the constitution, recent constitutional amendments, like your GST constitutional amendment, which was the number you need to know. Okay. All the recent constitutional amendment which took place in 2019-20, if you go through, that is more than sufficient. Clear? They might ask that. Please go through all of that. And for polity, behind Lakshmikant, he would have given a set of practice questions as well as previous year questions. Please solve that without fail before going to the exam. Clear? Both the practice questions as well as the previous year questions, which is given in Lakshmikant itself. Next, we will see for economics. Again here, get some conceptual clarity on basics, such as what is GDP, what is the difference between GDP and GNP. When you tell GDP, gross domestic product, it means whatever income we are getting from the country. It can be from the residents that are actually Indians as well as residents who are foreign. Okay, but when I tell GNP, it becomes only Indians who are in India as well as who are in abroad. We are not counting the income that is coming from foreigners that are residing in India. Simple differences like that. See, economy, because of the COVID situation, usually see economic questions come from current affairs in the exam. But my guessing is that due to the COVID situation, they can't ask much about current affairs, because when the survey came out, the situation was different. It was in Jan end. But now we know economy is gone to a very bad situation. So they might focus on your static concepts this year. This is what is my personal feeling. So go and revise all the static concepts, okay? See what effect does increase and decrease in money flow to repo rate, inflation. So for example, what if there is more money in the market? That is, people are having more money, or say banks are lending at a very less interest. What will happen? People will go and take loan because they don't have to pay more interest. Now people have money. What will people do? They will spend. If people are spending, that means there is demand on goods. If there is demand on goods, you must be able to meet the demand. When you are not able to meet the demand, what will happen? Inflation will start rising. Clear? So you need to have this chain of thought. If money is there, what happens? If money is not there, what happens? If repo rate increases, what happens? If repo rate decreases, what happens? Clear? Few new terms which came due to the COVID situation. Get in touch with those terms. MCLR, okay, CRR, SLR, all that. Know about the indices like your CPI, WPI, RBI news and policies. So like I said, due to the COVID situation, if there are any new policies being done, please focus on that. Bank mergers, yes, this has been happening for quite a few time. See which, if it's an easy question, they might just ask you which bank merged with what, or else they might ask what is the effect of bank merging, or they might completely ask about general economics, like when did the nationalization of banks take place. Okay, it can be anything, UPSC. Because this is in news, you need to do a 360-degree study of the topic. Clear? Even please see some yojanas or schemes of the finance department, that is finance ministry, what all it has been doing. Just go to the website whenever you're bored of studying or when you're not able to concentrate. Please go to ministry websites and go through all the schemes and yojanas what it's put up. Even please visit RBI website. They'll be there about us or know more. Click on that and have a read. It will be really useful for the exam. Next we have history. So for modern India, no doubt it's Spectrum. Hopefully all of you have finished reading it at least 3 to 4 times. Read the summary given after each chapter and also the appendix part of Spectrum. So after every chapter he would have given summary. Okay. Now if you don't have time to read everything, just go through the summary, and without fail, in the end he would have compiled all the governor generals, all the socio-religious reform movement, all the tribal movement, peasants movement, all the INC meetings. One compilation in the appendix part you can see. Without fail, go through that multiple times. Okay, at least weekly 2 times, keep seeing that. Clear? Give importance to events after Gandhi's arrival and the events that took place after World War II. That is, after Gandhi's arrival, what all he did, what the 3 major things, NCM, CDM and Quit India movement. When I tell events after World War II, like your Wavell Plan, Cripps Mission, Shimla Conference, all that, have a look, okay? Please get a good chronological idea. When I tell history, knowing the chronology is very important. They tell years and dates are not asked in UPSC, but if you see the past few years trends, they give you events, okay? And they ask you to arrange them in the chronological order. Even though years are not specifically mentioned, if without knowing the years, you cannot arrange the events. Okay? So better to know the sequence of events that has happened. Make it like a flowchart. It will be really useful to study. You can do that for ancient, medieval and modern. Clear? For ancient, right from your Stone Age till your Harshavardhana, make one chronological order. Then again medieval, you can take it up from Imperial Cholas in the south, or when you go to the north, you can start it with Delhi Sultanate. Clear? Till your later Mughals. Then when it comes to modern India, start with arrival of Europeans. Till 1857, keep one chronology. Again from 1857 to 1947, have one chronology. So 4 lists if you have, it will be really easy to follow history. We all think it's vast, it's difficult, but trust me, you make this list. It doesn't have to be very detailed. Okay, I'm not telling every year what happened. Just the major events that took place. If you have that, it will be really easy for you to revise. When it comes to ancient and medieval India, so we are seeing that from ancient and medieval, questions are coming more and more in the exam, especially in the last 3 to 4 years. So we cannot neglect that. At least 4 to 5 questions are coming. Focus on Buddhism and Jainism. You can see that every year there's a question from this area. If you have come across Lucent general knowledge book, if you have read it, well and good, you know it's a completely fact-oriented book. It will help you through major of the government exams. If you have not, at least read the Buddhism, Jainism part, books and authors, all these things from that book for ancient and medieval India. It will really help, okay? So, sites of ancient India. Why I have mentioned this is, if you have observed the budget, when it was presented by the finance minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, she had mentioned lot of important sites from ancient India. Okay, so just give a glance on that. Authors of books from our past NCERT. You have our past 1, 2, 3 NCERTs are there. If you have not read it, don't go to read it now. Just see at least the authors. That is like Abu Faisal, okay, and the travelers, Ibn Battuta, all of those people who had come and traveled, have a look into that from those 3 books. Don't go in depth and sit and read now, there's no time. And Indus Valley Civilization, again, something that has recurred again and again in the exam. So read it a bit deep, NCERT and previous year question paper analysis. Don't miss Indus Valley Civilization. Clear? For geography, 11th and 12th NCERT revision without fail. If you're finding Indian monsoon difficult, please refer to 9th standard NCERT. Then you can go and read it in the 12th NCERT. There are few things like Indian dipole, El Nino. All these please Google or see some YouTube videos to get some clarity. Clear? But if you do 11th and 12th NCERT, it's more than sufficient to crack most of the questions in the UPSC exam. Then we have G.C. Leong. See, it's not written for UPSC. That book is not a standard book for UPSC exam. It's actually written by, again, a foreign author. But still, we can do some selective reading, especially the initial chapters, okay, where you are reading about eclipses, latitudes, longitudes, all that. First 2-3 chapters. Read it without fail from G.C. Leong. And again, the climate chapter, you can see that. And for even ocean currents also, you can refer to G.C. Leong. It's good in that book. Again, when I tell geography, atlas becomes very important. Please always keep the atlas with you. Any news regarding any place on earth, whether it is India or other parts of the world you're coming across, Please mark it in your atlas. For India, do mountain ranges, because now we know the Chinese incursion is happening again and again. It's all happening in the Himalayan region. Okay, so please go through the entire Himalayan stretch, all the mountain ranges, and latitude, longitude based questions. So they ask which of the following cities lie in the same latitude as Mumbai. Okay, and they'll give you a bunch of options. Say Raipur, okay, Hyderabad, Bangalore, etc. And you need to know approximately at least what is coming nearby. Obviously, if they tell latitude, Bangalore won't come. You'll be confused whether it is Hyderabad or Raipur. Okay, please give focus. These type of questions have come. Again, questions such as how many states minimum you have to cross if you want to travel from Nagaland to Kerala. Even these questions we have seen in the exam, right? Go through these questions. Go through the atlas with aspect to this. See the states. See, and now remember, Jammu Kashmir is not a state. We have two more union territories, that is J&K and Ladakh. While calculating the number of states, they might trick you also. You might get confused. So please be aware with the changes. When it comes to environment, have a clarity on definitions. What is ecology, ecotone, ecosystem, biosphere? What are all the differences between them? Okay, have some clarity. They might just give it in a match the following type of a question. Environment questions are mostly from current affairs. That too topics such as climate change, forest fires. We know this year again started with forest fire. Recently there was a forest fire in America as well. Global warming, solid waste management, environmental degradation with health. So again, this will come either in environment or science and technology. All these pandemics like your SARS or COVID, they all are traced back to environmental degradation. Okay, many animals have come in use because of coronavirus. One is the virus is spread through animals. It's a zoonotic thing. So then again, bats, pangolins, all this was in use. Another thing is during the lockdown phase, many animals were seen roaming in the populated areas as well, since there was no people roaming around. We saw Malabar civet. Okay, it's one of the endangered animals that was visible during the lockdown. So such things, please go through them, all the animals. Few things again in environment which you need to bahat is the IUCN status of animals. Just memorize the critically endangered animal species in India. So any other thing they give, through elimination at least you can remove it out. Okay, critically endangered. Always remember all your important animals like tiger, lion, they are never critically endangered. One clue is critically endangered animals are mostly very small animals. Okay. But your Ramsar sites, biosphere reserves, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries. Of course, you cannot bahat all of them. At least whatever was in use in the last 1 or 2 years, that you can learn or give importance to Northeast. Okay. What are all the national parks and sanctuaries coming in your northeastern states? And the states which were in use like Jammu, now it's a union territory. So Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh, clear? All those states, just have a look into it. Even mangroves and corals, where all this is seen, that also becomes important, because I think in the mains last year, mangroves and corals were asked. So sometimes whatever concepts were asked in mains might come in your next year prelims. Even that you can have a look at. Next, current affairs strategy. So that was for the static part. Okay, I've given you a very brief strategy because I know I don't want to tell more and confuse you guys. Okay, there's just 1 month. I know all of you will be on your own pace and own ideas about what to study, how to study. This is just a reminder so that you do not miss out on important topics and concepts. Clear? For current affairs, you can read any magazine compilation, monthly magazine or whatever yearly compilation, anything that you have been following all across the year. Please continue doing so. Only thing is, don't pick up anything new. Just because someone is reading in your library or some of your friend tells or you come across something online telling, if you read this, pakka you'll get 10 questions, 20 questions, all that is nonsense. Because not one person can tell you which question is going to come or which topic is going to come. Not even me, not even the UPSC chairman, he cannot tell you. Clear? No one knows. So please continue doing what you're doing. Don't get deflected to what others tell or what you come across in social media or YouTube or anything. If you have handwritten notes, very well and good. Please read that. This applies even for static. Any subject or current affairs, you have handwritten notes. Keep reading that again and again. I always tell my students, you need to generate photographic memory. Right? When we were in 10th standard or when you were in lower standards in school, when you were writing the exam, I'm sure once or twice this would have occurred to you. When you see a question, you will be able to remember exactly what you have written in your notes, your own handwriting. Even you will be able to visualize which side of the notebook you have written. Yes or no? I'm sure all of you would have experienced this. This is what is photographic memory which we require to crack this exam. This will come when you read from one source. It can be your handwritten notes, it can be the NCERT, it can be institute notes, it can be anything. But when you do repeated revision and reading of the same thing, then only photographic memory will be generated. If you read Ramsar site from say 5 different sources, one time on your phone, one time on your laptop, once in your notes, once in some other textbook, you will never generate a photographic memory. Understanding? Please stick to one source and keep seeing it again and again. Okay? Say you haven't touched current affairs or you have missed out on some months, there was some issue. Don't go to read any new magazine now. Okay? For completing any new magazine, you need at least 4 days, as per my knowledge, to do a thorough reading. You cannot have 4 days now. Clear? So better you watch some current affairs video. There's so many videos on YouTube. Even Himalaya, we have been putting YouTube current affair videos. Whichever you feel comfortable, just listen to that. It is less time consuming. At the same time, it will enter your brain also quickly than reading. Just have a pen and paper. Whichever you feel is very important, jot it down. I know when you study for UPSC, you feel everything is important. That's why I'm telling how to narrow it down. Do question paper analysis. You'll get an idea what is important, what is not that important. Listen to your current affairs videos and complete it. Clear? So next concept was your question papers. First thing is, I'm sure most of you will be already doing mock test. It might be subject-wise mock test or anything. Stop doing subject-wise mock test for now. Start with your full-length mock test. You need to analyze yourself where you are going wrong, which subject you are weak. Only when you do full-length mock test, you can do that. Give yourself the same timing as exam in 2 hours, 100 questions. If you ask me, give 1.5 hours. Because in the exam hall, filling the form, now though you have this COVID situation where they will come and check you, all that. Just keep 1.5 hours to answer 100 questions. And see what are all the drawbacks you are facing. Clear? Please do full length mock test. Try to do at least 10 to 15. I'm sure you have many websites offering you. You even have free mock tests at various sources. Please do them without fail. Don't keep it till the end. Start from today. Do at least one per day. Don't think I will study and do. That will never happen. Even if you're giving the exam next year, June, we'll never be confident enough to tell that I have studied everything, I will take up a mock test. Okay, the syllabus is so vast, it's impossible to think so. Do it today. 20% syllabus done, do it. Do the mock test. 30% done, do it. 50% done, do it. Doesn't matter. Clear? Don't neglect on your mock test. Again, previous year question paper, at least 5 to 10 years. Do it minimum 2 to 3 times. Please, then only you will get to know the examiner's mind. How much ever mock test you do, the people who have set the mock test are not from UPSC. Okay, from UPSC you have only 2 things. One is syllabus, second is previous year question paper. Only by reading these 2 things you will be able to crack what the examiner is thinking. Only if you know what examiner wants, you will be able to clear the exam. Yes or no? We do not want to become topper of any institute. We want to clear UPSC. Always remember that. So don't neglect on previous year question paper. And 1 week before the exam, my suggestion is don't give any new test. Whatever mock test you have given, whatever previous year papers you have attempted, keep revising them. Revise your handwritten notes. Revise the standard books, Spectrum, Lakshmikant. Keep revising. 1 week, stay calm and revise. Don't go to do any new test or any new book or magazine or anything for that matter. Clear? So a list of things what you need to do. First off, try to stay calm. Diffuse the pressure by doing activities that will bring your stress levels down. Okay, like not talking. Here it's come as talking, but it means taking a walk. Just a short walk. Okay, don't tell, okay, she told I'll go for a long walk in this corona time. Don't go anywhere. Just a short walk near your house or on your terrace. Do meditation. If you're equipped to do meditation, do it. Or if you're doing exercises at home, yoga, for if you find peace at cooking, okay, anything, it might be anything for you, do it. Half an hour a day, give it to yourself. Okay, and when I tell do activities that will de-stress you, doesn't mean phone. Okay, doesn't mean watching a 3-hour movie or telling that you will watch one video on YouTube which will end up in watching 10 videos, or even starting to watch some Friends or some sitcom which you know will never stop at one episode. Don't do things that you know will harm your preparation. We all know our weakness. Okay. So see, there will be pressure on you from various things, from your parents, relatives, even from yourself. So you need to be mentally strong. I know it's very hard. Okay, I'm not telling it's an easy thing. When there's pressure, it's very difficult to be mentally strong, but you need to be, because always remember what your focus is. You need to clear the exam. First of all, you need to clear the prelims. For that 1 month, you think you are a horse. How they tie this ice strap to the horse, it can't see anywhere, no? Become that. Even if your own mind is telling you something negative or pulling you down, don't listen to it. Okay? Don't listen to anyone. Just study, revise, revise, revise. Always believe in yourself. Remember why you chose to get into the field of UPSC. It might be various factors. Okay, you wanted to help the society, you wanted to make money, you wanted to get name, you wanted to make your parents proud. Anything. You know it. You always know it. You should know it. Okay, without knowing why you want to be here, it's of no use. Every time you feel demotivated, every time you feel someone is pulling you down, every time your own mind tells you you can't do it, always remember your name, and after that IAS or IPS or IRS, whichever you are dreaming. that 3 letters coming beside your name and the happiness you will get as well as your parents. Clear? Please remember why you're in the field. Always. Physical fitness is very important, especially due to corona. Best to see, I will give you have the best reason to quarantine yourself. One is COVID, another one is exam. Okay, you have very less excuses to go out or to be disturbed. No one will tell you, come out, let's party, come out, let's hang together, let's go eat outside. You can just tell, no, my parents are not letting me because of COVID. Or you can tell, I'm scared, I don't want to catch the infection. In fact, you should be scared, right? You might have studied and prepared so much. Say one silly mistake of yours and you get affected by the virus, God forbid, you will not be able to take up the exam. You have to wait again almost for a year, right? Don't do such mistakes. Please be very, very safe. Even from your own family members, if someone is going and traveling or going to work, please try to be away from them and stay safe. Have adequate sleep. Please don't do marathon sessions thinking that I will complete all the 12 months current affairs in 1 week or 2 weeks. I will study for 16 hours a day. All that is not at all going to work out. Stick to your plan. Stick to doing what best you can while keeping your health. Okay, sleep 6 to 7 hours. 2 to 3 days before the exam, please sleep 8 hours. Trust me when I tell, only if you sleep you will be fresh, and only if you're fresh you will remember things even which you had studied 2 years back or even from your childhood. Sometimes even that will help in the exam. UPSC is not about 1 year or 2 year preparation. It's what you've been seeing and undergoing all throughout your life. You need to apply everything to clear it. Okay, so please don't give up on your sleep. Don't do nonsense like 16 hours, 17 hours study sessions. What will happen? 2-3 days you will do that. 1 week you will be on the bed. Instead, do aram se you can study 8 to 9 hours every day. Still, you can focus on the goal. Have good food. Don't order on Swiggy, Zomato and all a lot. Once in a while, just to treat yourself is fine. Avoid all your cold items. Eat ghar ka khana, homemade food, and stay safe. What not to do, and before that, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. It's a tough exam. I'm not going to lie. We all know it's very tough. It's one of the top layer of India. That is, the best of the best get selected. Lakhs of students apply, in which just 0.00 some percent get selected. Okay, so when it is tough to be there, only the tough minded people, okay, only those who are strong physically and mentally will be able to endure it. Otherwise everyone would have gone, no? Yes or no? Otherwise it would be like just like your graduation, where everyone and anyone is doing your graduation course. Clear? When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Remember that. What you should not be doing? Don't read any new resources or books, because see guys, anything you read for this exam, minimum 4 to 5 times revision is required. By reading something new, you cannot guarantee that you will be able to revise it multiple times. Better not to touch it. When you read something for once or twice, it will not stay in your brain. Especially this close to the exam, it is very, very futile. Okay, it's useless. Instead, you can study something which you already know and revise it. I know you'll get this, what if that comes, what if this does not come? That is not in our hands. I said no, 50% portion, 60% portion, whatever you have completed, better to revise and become strong in that, so that if that question comes, you will be able to get 100% correct answer. What will happen, if you do not revise and study something new, the question which is coming from the topic which you have studied also, you will be confused, and the new topic though, you will never be able to answer. So you will be in a state of confusion in the exam. Instead of getting marks deducted for both the questions, at least one question you can answer and get 2 marks, no? Think in that way. And we need not answer all the 100 questions. Our target is just to clear the cutoff. Keep 120. More than enough. If you're getting 120, you're always safe. For getting 120, I need not answer 100 questions. If I answer 80 questions, enough. So I need not study everything that is under the sky. Okay. Syllabus is vast. We all know that. It's like a never-ending ocean. Your morale will go down. Lot of negative thoughts will come, especially during this time. I have not completed current affairs. I have not studied spectrum properly. Okay, I have not done enough revision. Please have confidence. There is still time. 1 month is there. Okay, you can do wonders in 1 month if you are focused and if you have a good plan. Stay away from negative groups and people. Whoever is trying to tell you to not do this, or to friends who will tell you it's corona time, paper will be difficult or paper will be easy, current affairs we don't know from which year it will come. All such things don't at all give attention to. Clear? Like I said, no one knows what is going to come. Always focus on your goal. Keep your morale high by yourself. Don't depend on anyone else to keep your confidence level high. It can only be you. It always has to be you. You want to be in the position. If you become an officer, it's going to be your name. Not your mom, your dad, or any of your friends. So it should not affect you whether they are being negative or positive. Okay, don't think, why is my mom not doing enough? I have my exam. Not necessary. Okay, you're the one who's going to become officer. Depend on yourself. Keep your confidence level high. Please, we all know this, but we do not do this. That is usage of social media, or Instagram, Facebook. Now if that IPL starts, all that, please avoid it. 30 days, nothing is going to happen. If you scroll down, you are going to see even the previous feed, whatever happened, it will come. But exam preparation, this 1 month time is not going to come back. You have to wait for 1 more year. My suggestion, delete all these apps, not necessary. If you have not deleted, do it now, as in when you're watching this, pause my video, go and delete the social media apps. If you're a PUBG player or any other games, Candy Crush, everything, you know what is making your time to be wasted. Clear? Netflix, Prime, whatever it might be. Please delete all these things just for 30 days. Okay, October 4th evening, you can reinstall it. No one's going to ask you. Okay? You're always one decision away from a totally different life. Remember that. Every time you're planning on giving up, every time you plan on doing something apart from studying or revising, remember, if that decision is going to get you a better life than you sitting and studying right now. Clear? Always keep yourself in check. Don't tell yourself, I will do this in the night. I will sleep 1 hour late. Don't. Discipline is very, very important in cracking this exam. Okay? And don't think of the past. These many months I didn't do that. I could have studied. I could have done that. All that is unnecessary. All of us went through a tough time due to corona, lockdown. Many of our targets were not completed. Many of us faced personal issues. We might have lost our own family members. A lot of things would have happened, which would have not let you study. Okay? But that is in the past. We are focusing on the next 1 month. Always keep that in mind. So best of luck. Do well. Believing in your dreams is the only way to reach your destination. Like I said, believe in yourself. It's your dream, your name against the IAS, IPS or IRS. You have any doubts regarding any subject, please mail to me. I have provided my mail ID. I will be coming up with short capsule videos regarding the important topics I have mentioned in the video. So I'll meet you then. All the best. Thank you.